Look at this scene, a small hand aggressively pushing away a plate of greens. It is a universal parental struggle. We spend years trying to convince toddlers to consume vegetables, directly fighting their biological aversion to bitter flavor profiles. How do we normally try to win this fight? We pitch them abstract concepts. We say, "Eat your broccoli, it has vitamins," or "This will help you grow up big and strong." The problem is that a toddler's brain operates on immediate rewards. In psychology, there is a concept called temporal discounting. Temporal discounting is the tendency to value immediate, smaller rewards over distant, larger ones. A promise of future health means absolutely nothing to someone who wants a cookie right now. We keep trying to sell a rational, distant future to a creature living entirely in an irrational, instinct-driven present, and we keep losing the argument. But there is a piece of media that solves this exact problem. It is a widely popular Hindi nursery rhyme called Aha Tamatar Bade Mazedar, which translates roughly to, "Oh, tomato, so delicious." If you listen to it, the song sounds incredibly innocent. It relies on a bouncy, repetitive melody designed to get stuck in your head. But if you translate the lyrics, you find a narrative of extreme, reality-bending violence. This flowchart illustrates how the song actually works. Notice how the lyrics explicitly bypass any mention of health or vitamins. Instead, the word tomato maps directly to supernatural physical dominance over one's enemies. It drops the pretense of wellness. It teaches its audience a specific, subversive method for overthrowing the natural order of their world. To see how this works, we need to break down the specific combatants the song pits against each other. Every verse follows a mathematical escalation in power dynamics. In a standard food chain, the cat is at the top, the mouse at the bottom. The verse tells us a mouse eats the tomato and assaults the cat. The prey becomes the apex predator. Biological instinct is shattered. The very next verse escalates the conflict. It moves away from natural predators and introduces an ant fighting an elephant. An elephant weighs about 4,000 kilograms. An ant weighs 1 to 5 milligrams. The song states that an ant consumes a tomato and successfully beats up the elephant, serving as an absolute equalizer for an absurd physical disparity. These two verses establish the physics of this universe. Ingesting this specific red fruit actively nullifies both ingrained biological instinct and the laws of mass and gravity. The third pairing features a monkey aggressively striking the hippopotamus. Hippos are incredibly dangerous, but the monkey uses the tomato to conquer sheer brute force. Finally, the song leaves the animal kingdom behind entirely. The last verse introduces Patlu, a thin, weak man who eats the tomato and physically dominates Motu, a large, strong man. Bringing the conflict into the human realm shows that the mechanism applies perfectly to us, subverting familiar human physical archetypes of strength and weakness. Across all four verses, the mechanics are rigidly consistent. The smaller entity ingests the red sphere, and victory immediately follows. This repetitive loop trains the listener in a clear, undeniable logic. The only variable needed to guarantee absolute dominance over a larger, oppressive force is the consumption of the vegetable. Let's step away from the lyrics and look at the actual target audience for this song, a toddler going about their day. A child exists in a state of proportional powerlessness. Proportional powerlessness is the condition of being physically dwarfed by the surrounding authorities, adults, who dictate every aspect of your schedule, your environment, and your diet. This perspective shows exactly what that looks like. To a 2-year-old, adults are towering monuments. When they hear this nursery rhyme, they map their own existence directly onto the protagonists. They know they are the mouse. They know they are the ant. This is exactly why the song succeeds where a scientific food pyramid fails. It recognizes that someone lacking power does not care about long-term cellular health. They want agency. They want control over their surroundings. By framing the tomato as a magical artifact capable of toppling giants, the song directly targets the child's deepest innate desire for autonomy. You don't convince the smallest people in the room to eat their vegetables by telling them it's the right thing to do. You convince them by proving it is the first step to conquering the giants.